And because this is a safari shirt, I will be extending my dart downward to the length of my safari. So whatever I have from the center front to the middle of the dart is what I will be inserting on the hemline. Okay, having done this, the next step is to construct the side seam. In constructing the side seam, I will be inserting the waist measurement and the hip measurement. When you are taking this measurement, it has to be taken on the tummy because this is a male shirt, or preferably this is the method I've been using all this while and is working for me. Once I take the chest circumference measurement, then I will subtract 2 inches from the measurement. After dividing my chest circumference measurement by 4, I have 9.5 inches left. So on the waist level, I will just remove half of an inch. That is half of an inch in 4 places. The half of an inch I removed is going to be in 4 places because the circumference measurement has been divided into 4 already. So on the waist level, I will insert 9 inches. I have 9.5 inches here for the chest. So on the waist, I will insert 9 inches. So with this, you are going to have a perfect measurement. So the stomach area will not be too loose and it will not be too tight. But you need to take note of this. If you are sewing for men with a pot belly, it is advisable you take the measurement of the tummy. For some people, their tummy measurement might be bigger than the chest measurement. So if you look at the person and you notice that is how the stature is, you will need to take the measurement of the tummy. So after inserting 9 inches, then the dart intake I have here is half of an inch. That is 1/4 of an inch on both sides. So I will need to return the half of an inch back to the side. Okay, then on the safari shirt length, the hip circumference measurement I'm working with is 40 inches. Divided by 4 gives me 10 inches. Then I took a dart of half of an inch. This has to be returned to the side as well. Now the next step is to connect all the points together. I've inserted all my horizontal measurements and I'll proceed in connecting the points together. But in case you don't want to shape your shirt, you want to have a straight shirt, that is a free shirt, all you need to do is to just eradicate the waist measurements. You will not insert this measurements. You will just take your straight ruler, connect directly from the chest to the hemline. With this, the side of your shirt will be straight and the shirt itself will not be fitted. It's going to be a free one. So firstly, I will be connecting from the chest level to the waist level. In this case, this is not going to be a straight line. It's going to be a slightly curved line. Not too curved, just a little bit curvy. So you can see the side of the ruler I used. Then connection from the waist to the safari shirt length requires a straight ruler. So this is going to be on a straight line. Then I have my pattern like so. Now having done this, I will move to the shaping of the safari hemline. This part is optional. If you want the hemline of your safari shirt to be straight, you can just keep this step and go to the next one. But as for me, I don't want it to be on a straight line, so I'm going to be shaping it like so. From the side, I will measure 2 inches upward. Then I will connect this straight to the center front. So which means all these parts are not part of my pattern anymore. So guys, the next step is to place a pocket on a safari shirt. As I said in the intro, that a safari shirt usually comes with 2 or 4 different pockets, utilitarian pockets. So you can either make use of 2 pockets or 4 pockets, but in this tutorial I will be working with 2 pockets. That is one on each side, one on the left hand side and one on the right hand side. But if you want yours to be 4, you are placing 2 around the chest area, then 2 around the waist area. That makes it 4. The positioning of the pocket is going to fall in between the dart line. Here is my dart line, so which means my pocket is going to fall at the center of the dart. Now, to insert the wideness of my pocket, I'm going to share this into 2. Half of it is going to be towards the center front, while the remaining will be here, because I want my dart line to fall at the center of my pocket. The wideness of my pocket is 4.5 inches. Divided by 2 gives me 2.25. So I'll mark 2.25 here, and the remaining 2.25 here. So I have 2.25 here, 2.25 here. Then I will be taking this downward to the waist level. So I will confirm the measurement I have from the center front to this point. That is 2 inches. And I'll insert the exact 2 inches here. I will take it downward. Then this is going to be 4.5 inches plus half of an inch, which is 5. So guys, this line is just a guide for you on how to construct your pocket. This is not how long your pocket is going to be. So the next step now is to decide the length of the pocket. I use 4.5 inches for the width, so I will use 5 inches for the length. The pocket opening is going to be about 10 inches from the HPS. This is my HPS point. That is where the neck width falls. Okay, so from that point I will measure 10 inches downward, which is here. So this is where my pocket opening will fall. So I'm taking this on a straight line. So from the pocket opening point, then I will insert the length of my pocket, which is 5.5 inches. So this is the pocket opening, and this is the length of the pocket. So after this, you can give your pocket any shape of your choice. So as for me, I will just be slanting this lower part like so. I'll give it this, making sure the 2 sides are equal. Okay, and my pocket is going to be with flap. Flap means the cover of the pocket. So when we get to the construction level, we'll be going deeper into that. So guys, the front panel of our safari shirt pattern is ready. The last step is to add my seam allowances all around my pattern. And if you don't mind, you can decide to add this on your fabrics. But to make my work faster, I will be adding the seam allowances on my pattern. I will add half of an inch on the neckline, which will be used in attaching the collar. Half of an inch is needed on the shoulder line, half of an inch on the armhole, and I will be using 0.75 for the side. I already added my hem allowance, so there's no need of adding extra hem allowance. So guys, now I have my seam allowances added all around my pattern, so I can proceed in cutting it out. Before cutting out my pattern, I'm going to make the front panel shorter than the back panel. Okay, this is just a general rule on male outfits. If you want to know the reason, kindly check out the videos I mentioned earlier. In the video, I explained into details why you need to do this and how you can do it. So I will be making this 2 inches shorter than the back panel. So from the measurements I have here already, I will measure 2 inches downward, then I'll cut it off. 2 inches here and 2 inches here. So this new line is going to be the front shoulder line. When I'm cutting my pattern, all these parts are going off. So now I will be cutting on the neckline, the seam allowance I marked out. I will cut on the shoulder line, the armhole, the side, and the hemline. But before cutting, I will need to fold in my placket allowance. So you have to do this so that you will not have a shortage around the neckline. After cutting out the neckline, I can open it up. So guys, now I have the front panel cut out, and this is what I have. So I will be using this as a template in drafting the back panel. Okay, so I have my pattern paper laid on table for my back panel, and I folded in the placket allowance I have on my front panel. Then I traced this out on my new pattern paper. Okay, when I was cutting out the front panel, I told you I will be cutting out 2 inches away from the front panel, but because I wanted to use this as a template for the back, I need to tape it back after cutting. So when I'm done with the drafting of the back, so I will just remove it. So I place this like so. Then I traced it out the exact way I have it. I traced out the neckline, the shoulder line, the armhole, the side seam, and the hemline. And I transferred all my lines, the chest level, the waist level, on the fresh pattern paper. After tracing this out, then I measure 2 inches upward on the shoulder line. This is the shoulder line for the front panel. So from here I measured 2 inches upward. Okay, so which means after removing this, the back panel will be 4 inches longer than the front panel. Then I drew out my armhole line. Here is the armhole line here. I drew out the side seam as well. For better understanding on how to construct the back panel, I have a well-detailed tutorial on how to do this, which is the video you are seeing on your screen right now, and I will link the video up in the description area below. I explained into details how to achieve this properly. So I have my armhole line drawn out. As you can see, this is for the back panel. This armhole you are seeing with dotted lines is for the front armhole, while this neckline is the front neckline. So now this new line, which is the 2 inches I took upward, will be the new shoulder line for the back panel. Okay, so the first thing I will be doing is to reconstruct the side. I will be reconstructing the side purposely because I have a dart intake on the front panel. For the back panel of my safari shirt, I don't want to place a dart, so the dart intake I've added to the side will be subtracted from the back panel. So in doing this, I will take away my dart intake of 1/2 inch from the side, on the waistline, and on the hemline. 1/2 inch here, then 1/2 inch here. Then I will reconnect from the waist level to the hemline with a straight ruler. So this new line is going to be is going to be for the back panel. So it's not going to be this anymore. So I'm crossing it out so that you don't get confused. So the line I have at the middle is going to be for the back panel. Then connection from the waist to the chest level is going to be with my very firm curve ruler. So I will just take it from the waist to the exact point I have on the back, because I did not add any data allowance on the chest level. So I will just reconnect like so. So I don't need to add extra seam allowance anymore, because I have my seam allowance added on the front pattern, and I use the fourth pattern to trace out the back pattern. There's no need of adding extra seam allowance. After reconstructing the side, then we will move to the construction of the back armhole and the back neckline. On the back armhole, I have my armhole line drawn out. So this is the starting point for the back, and this is the middle of the armhole line, which is here. When I was drafting the front, I measured 0.75 inward, but in this case I'm going to measure half of an inch inward. I will not use up to 0.75 because the back armhole must not be as deep as the front armhole. So which means the front armhole is usually deeper than the back armhole. So on this line I will measure half of an inch. Okay, so now I have this as the back armhole, and I will add my seam allowance immediately. So guys, now I have the back armhole constructed and I've added my seam allowance as I said. So now the next step is to construct the back neckline. In constructing the back neckline, I will be using the same neck width I used for the front, which is 2.75. And here is the point. Okay, then for the neck depth I will use 3 inches. Then here I will come in by 1 inch and 0.25, that is 1.25. So I have the back neckline like so. So the next step is to confirm the measurement I have on the back neckline. Don't forget, when I was drafting the front neckline, I took the measurement I have around the neckline. So I will take this measurement, I will add it together with the back. Then if I will need to do any adjustments before cutting out my fabrics, I will proceed and do that. And as I said earlier, if you don't know how to do this, kindly check the link below for the list of the videos I have in the description area. Those are the videos you needed to watch in order to get along with the pattern I'm drafting in this particular video. So guys, now I have my calculation done. I've added the back panel together with the front panel. Okay, then I multiply it by 2 and I compared it with the neck circumference measurement I'm working with, which is okay. I ended up having 16.25 for the neckline, so which is very okay. So as I said earlier, when I was drafting the front panel, you need to learn how to do this, which I already have a well-detailed tutorial on that. That is how to draft a male shirt pattern, and other lists of videos I have in the description area below. You need to watch all those videos before drafting this pattern if you are new to this. So all the videos has been linked up in the description area below. So I have the back neckline now. I will add my seam allowance. I have my seam allowance added on the back panel already. On the shoulder line I have my seam allowance. On the armhole I have my seam allowance. The side seam I have my seam allowance. the hemline, I have my seam allowance. So after adding my seam allowance on the neckline, I will go straight and cut out my pattern. So guys, now I have the back panel cut out. As you can see, this is the back panel and this is the front panel. So this part is not part of the front panel. I will remove this. That is the part I cut out. I will remove it before cutting out my fabrics. So let's meet in the next stage of this tutorial, where I will be showing you how to cut out the fabrics and put the pieces together to make a beautiful sapphire.